Welcome to another exciting edition of the Next Level TV program. And as usual, this is your regular host, Oscar Bimpong, in the driving seat, always taking you to your destination of success. Who is a driver? A driver is somebody that will take you from one place to another. But in the journey of the driver, there are so much challenges, difficulties that the driver faces in getting to their destination. But there is one thing about drivers that inspires me. Drivers know there will be traffic on the road, they still go ahead and start the engine. They know there is a probability it can rain, they still go ahead and start the engine. Drivers know there can be a mechanical breakdown, they still go ahead and start the engine. Drivers know that in getting to their destination, there can be an accident. Sometimes it can be fatal, but that doesn't deter drivers from starting the engine. So what are we here for? The Next Level here is here to inspire you for you to get to that destination. We know there will be challenges on the road, but we are here to tell you, have the mentality of a driver. As usual, what topic are we going to discuss? We always bring you pertinent topics that can help you, shape you to your destination of success in pursuing your dreams in life. Today, I've got an expert in this house. What are we going to discuss? We are going to discuss how to be resilient in pursuing your dreams in life. And who have I got here? This person is a resilient expert. He is a peak performance and employee engagement expert as well. He is in the person of Joel Bokas. Joel Bokas, welcome to Zip TV, and you are on the Next Level TV program.
Hi, good afternoon. Thanks for having me here. I'm delighted to be here. And yeah, the top resilience always fascinates me. And I've been working in resilience for quite a while. So I'm looking forward to your questions and contribute to the program.
Yeah, we're going to have a great discussion now because it's one of the topics that has been neglected, but it's one of the things that if we get to understand, it will help us to achieve our dreams in life. This program always starts with the motivational quote of the day, and our motivational quote of the day is by Gail Borden. What did Gail Borden say? Gail Borden is a surveyor, publisher, and an inventor. What did he say? He said, I tried and failed. I tried again and again and succeeded. This is very powerful.
Exactly, and that's like a kind of very resilient mentality, isn't it?
Exactly.
That's what we need to do. Accept that we're not gonna probably succeed first time. We have to try and try again. I really like that.
So, is that the meaning of resilience? Does the quote perfectly defines what resilience is?
Yeah, it defines to me because resilience is explicitly described in there about the perseverance to try again, having the courage to go forward, as you started the program so well, which was great. Because many of us, we all have dreams, we want to achieve our dreams very quickly, first time. And the reality is not like that. We have to persevere, learn, accept our failures, and that's our greatest strength to eventually get there. That's why resilience plays such a big part in achieving what we want.
So resilience is about perseverance.
Yeah, it's about trying again, as the quote states, is about coming back once more. Resilience, I would describe, if you would like a definition, I would describe as the capacity to endure challenges without compromise your health or your performance, depending in which area you're coming from, depending on the angle, if it's a personal or an organizational performance we're talking about in here. But I also would say that resilience is about overcoming adversity and those challenges, and overcoming the adversity quicker and faster, and don't let the adversity actually leave you there. Make sure you keep going forward. So the quote is really resonates to me.
So resilience is very important in pursuing our dreams. We need to understand the importance of resilience before we kickstart any dream. Because when we start and we are being hit by that force of failure or that force that can get us to give up, if we don't understand what resilience means, it means that are we going to give up?
Yeah, it's important to understand, first of all, that we are being challenged, and actually getting a knockback sometimes is not a bad thing, because we learn and we have the ability to come back stronger and also draw from our experience. So when we try again, we have more experience, and eventually, instead of seeing that experience as a failure or a negativity, we actually can turn that into a positive experience and become stronger.
You know, I was reading something about resilience, and I got to realize that we are now living in something I call microwave world, where everything is fast food. We don't want to prepare the food, we want it half cooked. And this mentality has shaped us in pursuing our dreams. So we want everything to be pre-prepared so that at the end of the day, we hit it, we win, and we live. Resilience, is it in our society today? Is it a mentality inculcated in our world? Because I believe, especially the youth today, they want everything quick and fast.
Unfortunately, in my personal opinion, I would say that resilience doesn't really match the fast achievement and the quick fix and the fast success mentality. Because if you look at some successful people, they didn't become successful overnight. They didn't become successful probably on their first attempt. I always use examples of sport because of my personal background in sport, and also I'm passionate about sport. But if you look, for example, at the athletes, how many times do they train to achieve the result they want? How many times do they fail to achieve the result they want?
So many times.
Many times. That doesn't make them not successful. It's the other way around, isn't it? Because they fail so many times, they eventually get where they want to be. And we only see the success. We don't see all the work behind the scenes. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So does it mean that failure, in a way, in quote, is a fast track to your success?
That's a very good a point there, because I strongly believe that could lead to success faster, and it could lead to success. Drawing from your experiences is not actually. We always associate failure with negativity, isn't it?
Yeah.
Actually, failing is not a bad thing as long as we learn and go forward and go ahead as you started the program. It's not a bad thing because we're moving forward. We're not in the same place. It's only a bad thing if you let the failure affecting you and drawing you back from where you were before. If you have the ability to accept the failure or the experience, I wouldn't call failure, I don't really like the word failure, but if you accept that experience, have the ability to withstand the challenge and move forward, that's positive, isn't it? It's not really a failure.
Yeah. You know, I was reading an article, and two people lost their jobs, right? One updated his CV, put in CVs all over the place, and he got a job in 1 year. One said to himself, listen, the economy is not good, there is recession. I don't know where this economy is going to be good again for us to get the jobs we want. And he was marrying failure. He was intertwined with the failure that he's got. So the other one had a job in 1 year. The other one was still doing what? Mourning about losing his job. Right? Now, the one who applied and got the job in 1 year, you can say he's resilient, right? Now, the person who did not get the job and is now mourning about everything, how can you bring that person to be resilient?
That's a great example of perseverance and resilience there. I mean, because resilience, it was a very good example of applying the practical side of resilience, because the resilience is about overcoming challenges, and they have the ability to eventually get what we want without being affected. We always will be affected in some way, isn't it? No one is superhuman. There is no Superman. Nothing's gonna affect them. It doesn't work like that. But that person turned that, let's say, that experience of adversity into, okay, I'm gonna try to get the job. And his mindset and his resilience enable him to carry on and eventually get his goal, which is a very good example. But I would say, how can we build resilience, which was kind of your question in other words, wasn't it? If you look at the example in personal, for example, in professional sportsmen, they build resilience with confidence. So what they do, they look at successful achievements and draw their strength from there to build more confidence in order to be more resilient, if that makes any sense to you. So instead of just looking at what's wrong or try to develop or try to look at what they didn't achieve, they turn it the other way around. They see, oh, for example, I've done this race really, really well.
So they draw inspiration from there.
They get inspiration from that, and they get confidence from that. And one characteristic very important in resilience is self-confidence and self-belief. And if we have the ability to focus on that, we will eventually be more resilient to face the challenges that life throws at us.
So it is self-belief and self-confidence. You need to build that before you can draw more, you can be more resilient, right? You make a great point in there that, especially in professional sports, they draw inspiration or they draw resilience from the success stories of either other people or themselves to be more resilient, right? So what are you telling people? You are telling people they have to look at the success story of people in pursuing their dreams in the arena of their dreams to be more resilient?
I'm telling people to focus on something they are good at, something they like, in order to build confidence about that particular skill or area, because that will enable them to build resilience. When the life challenge comes, they lost their job or a relationship finishes or we have a deal with our manager at work, we will respond in a resilient way because we feel confident, we feel strong, because we feel good about ourselves, about our strength, because we have the mentality and always thinking, what's wrong? What do I need to do to develop a certain skill? What do I need to do? So we always focus on what we're not good at. What we should be focusing is on what we are good at, because that enables us to face the challenges more successfully.
So in other words, you are telling us we dwell so much on the things that we are not good at. I was speaking to somebody and he says when we were in school, our teachers were always talking about the things that we are not good at. So if you are not good in mathematics, your teacher concentrates more on the mathematics more than any subject because he wants you to do better there. But he is trying to tell me our teachers should have concentrated on the things that we are good at to build us. I think it was making sense. By an examination, you have to pass all. So, you know, yeah. But it's a very good point that you are making, you see. So it means that resilience should be from within first, right?
Absolutely. We need to find a way to build resilience within ourselves. Unfortunately, it doesn't work like you can buy resilience or get resilience from other people. Actually, you can get resilience from other people if they teach you how to be resilient, or if you look up to them as a resilient person and they have certain attributes and factors that make them a resilient person. Now, especially in the organizational work, in companies, the companies are very interested in building resilient teams and teach their managers to be good role models for their teams. And I think that is great.
Yeah, because we will even come to that. That is how businesses build resilience in the 21st century to build their businesses, you know. So it's like, on a second thought, you can also build resilience by looking up to somebody. So for instance, if I want to be a footballer, if you look at somebody like Ronaldo from Real Madrid, he's very resilient.
It's a great example there, Oscar, because Ronaldo actually, personally, I'm a fan. I like sport, as you can tell, you can imagine. I love football. I don't like other things around football, but that's a different story now. And Ronaldo left home. I've been studying some elite athletes for quite a while. Certain partners, certain attributes, certain characteristics that they have. Because what we see, we just see the success and how much money they earn. We don't see
the hard work behind the
hard work, the progression. What did they have to do? And I'll tell you very quickly what Ronaldo had to do. When he was 7 years old, he left Madeira, an island in Portugal, is apart from the continent, to come to Lisbon to train with the Sporting Lisbon. He came to Lisbon on his own, to the Academy of Sporting Lisbon. He left his family behind.
7 years?
7 years old.
Wow.
So that, strongly believe that it was very difficult for him. Because he's a very young child. And he tried and go to school. Trying and go to school. Trying and go to school. He must have missed his family a lot. His parents, his sisters. He's got a few sisters. And he became a very good footballer. Established himself in Portugal and Sporting Lisbon, and then Manchester United came to contracted him. And then we see Ronaldo that we see now. But how about those years that he had to overcome that adversity, missing his family, his feelings? Another good characteristic about resilience is emotional control. It's very important that, because if we're not in control of ourselves and our emotions, how can we be resilient? So he has developed that for sure. Being so young, deal with his feelings, the sadness and the other feelings, the sadness, missing his family, probably being angry, being there, isolated, on his own. Not on his own, but away from his family and his house. So yeah, it's a great example there. I could spend the whole interview talking about Ronaldo.
I'm getting interested. I'm getting interested. If you can give me more of the examples of the characteristics of how these sportsmen become resilient, because it's a very good point that you are making there. And if you can give me more characteristics, I really love it.
It's not a secret. Some of them, they highly exposed. If you look at Ronaldo, is only one example. Lionel Messi had a similar story. They're probably the two best. They probably know the two best footballers in the world. He had a similar story. Some other athletes and other sportsmen and very successful sportsmen, they have similar stories. Their backgrounds, their childhood, they experience very challenging situations for some years before they came what they came.
So did that one made them to toughen up or to be strong in terms of meeting challenges and overcoming them and becoming who they are now?
Absolutely. And that's applied primary example of resilience, isn't it? You build resilience and enables you to use resilience as a platform, as you say, to achieve success. Or if you don't achieve what you really want to achieve, you become closer to achieve what you want to achieve. You might not achieve it right now, but you'll become closer and closer.
Does resilience grow?
Yeah.
Does it grow?
I believe so. Other skills, they grow.
Yes.
So resilience obviously will grow with our life experience, with us working in our skills. Absolutely. I strongly believe that it grows. And I believe it's a skill that we can develop like any other skill.
We can develop it, right? So from nowhere, where every time you give up, every challenge, there are some people, they start this today, tomorrow you ask them, they've stopped. They go and start another one, tomorrow you ask them, they stop. The point is, you ask them, why have you stopped? Because they will give you a reason of they faced A or B and they stopped. Does it mean those people don't have resilience in them at all?
I wouldn't say they don't have resilience. I would say they probably haven't found the awareness to connect with their own resilience, or they don't really want it bad enough to pursue their dream. I got a great quote that says, it's not mine, I learned it somewhere else. Anyway, what I learn is always from other people, isn't it? If you really want something, or you find a way to get it.
Yes.
If you don't want it bad enough, you'll find an excuse.
Powerful.
And that's a very a good example there. If I want to do a marathon, I know I have to train quite a lot. But do I really want to run a marathon? Yes or no?
No.
The answer is within me.
Yes.
If I want it bad enough, I'll find a way to train eventually to do
With
it.
it.
Yeah. If I don't want it bad enough, I'll find an excuse.
Yes.
It's too much. Today is raining.
Yeah.
My wife, I don't have time. It's the kids. So, and that's
That's a really powerful quote. And it really sums out what we are saying, because a lot of people nowadays give loads and loads of excuses. That the reason why they haven't started their dreams or they haven't started achieving their goals in life. Let me ask you this question. Is resilience wired in our DNA, or is subject you need to learn?
that's a fantastic question. I probably have to go away and come back with you with some research. But I've been doing some research for quite a while, and I believe a bit of both. Yeah, probably he borns with us in some way, but some other characteristics and skills they can be developed. So I'll give you an example. Positive personality. Probably that I would say is natural, borns with you. You're more positive than the next person. Okay. But for example, talking about confidence, imagine one of us has got less confidence than the other. As an example, we could be on the same level if the person with less confidence had some resilience teaching and some examples from the sport and work on their own personal confidence. So we could increase the level of confidence by doing those things I mentioned before. Focus on positives, get inspiration, as you say, from others. And in the end of the day, working hard, isn't it? We all, the answer is within us. We have to find a way within ourselves to, but resilience can be actually developed.
So it means that there is a basic foundation of resilience in us, like talent. When you have talent, it's in you, but you need to identify it. And when you identify it, it's not the best of talent. You need to nurture it to the best that you want to be. So you are telling us resilience is similar. You have got some level of resilience in you, but to develop it, you need to learn learn from other people who are very resilient than you, success story of other people who pass through a lot to achieve what they want to achieve. Because when you look at the success story of Simon Cowell, Richard Branson, and all these people, they have got a level of resilience in them for them to be where they are.
Absolutely. The comparison, Oscar, that you gave is very, very good about the talent and the resilience. 'Cause we all have a certain level of resilience. Some people, they're more resilient than others, but we can change that. It's like by practicing, isn't it? If you ask me today, João, go and run 20 kilometers. I haven't done any training. I'm probably not going to be able to do it. But if I come back to you and say, give me 6 weeks to train, and I will run these 20 kilometers. Yeah? Resilience is difficult to be measured, but it can be developed in the same way we train our physical exercise.
Yeah.
It can be trained in the same way by practicing. Focus on my confidence, build confidence, manage my feelings better.
You know, you talked about managing emotions in resilience. I want us to come back to that because I want you to talk to our viewers in terms of the emotional aspect of our lives. Because I believe it's something that is killing us, because we start something and we face challenges and we give up, and all we do is that we become so much emotional about it. Sometimes I meet people who started businesses and their business collapsed, and all they say is, I'm not going to start business in my life again. He's been emotional. You understand? How can people manage the emotional aspect of their life to build resilience to achieve that goal that they want to achieve?
Well, that's a really good question, and I would say personally, it's really important to manage your own feelings, and emotional control of your emotions play a big part in resilience. Because in order to be resilient and sustain resilience, we must manage ourselves in the first place as a human being, as a person. Yeah? As a person. So that's like a fundamental part of being resilient. If there's nothing wrong in being emotional, but if we let the emotions stop us, or if we collapse, not in a sense of feeling ill, but if we stop, let the emotions stopping us to go from going ahead, our resilience is affected, because that's just going to draw us back. If we find a way to manage our feelings and our emotions, we have a good chance to endure the challenge, because we have to somehow overcome the challenge and eventually go ahead. And that, I would link that with another very powerful and, I would say, very important aspect of resilience, which is social support. Social support is about the relationships and accessing support to deal with the challenges. So family, friends, work colleagues, they play a big part. How are we going to manage our emotions?
Institutions and
institutions, help out there, anything. But I think that goes back to that point that all lies in us. We have to make that decision to access the support and manage ourselves.
Because if you don't avail yourself, then nobody can help you then. So it's a very powerful point, because our emotions are really playing an important role in our lives, how we manage it. And for a lot of people, they are where they are in life because they are too emotional about every single thing. You look at some people watching football and their team lose the match, and they become so emotional that the whole week they cannot even have a smile on their faces. And these are some of the things we need to manage well, as you are saying. But nowadays, resilience is becoming fashionable. I don't know where it is coming from. Is it because the world is becoming too much competitive? That is why resilience has really cropped up to be very fashionable in our world today?
That's a very good point there. You had a great analogy with the, with the emotions of the football, because I was already thinking about the managers, they lose their heads.
Yeah,
and
exactly, exactly.
But that's a different discussion. But yeah, that's we all human beings. Nobody is perfect. But you have a great point there. You have a great point there. When yeah, you make me think about resilience. It plays a big part, isn't it?
Yeah.
It plays a big part.
Yeah, but I'm talking about resilience being fashionable these days. What have really caused it? Is it because our world is becoming competitive today? That's why resilience has really cropped up.
I think the word for some people is fascinating,
Yeah.
and I believe most of us probably don't really understand it right. What resilience is? It's just a word that we use, or for other things, or a word that sounds good. And now we're talking about resilience in here. Eventually, our viewers, they get a better understanding what resilience is about. But for example, if you go back to the corporate world, the companies now, they don't want to talk about stress, because stress has a negative connotation. I'm not going to my colleague and say, "Are you stressed?" It feels like it's something wrong. There's nothing wrong in being stressed. It's just a perception. So the companies now, they're interested about building resilience and talking about resilience programs. And within the resilience programs is a stress management program. But they don't want to use the word stress. Because stress is associated with a problem. If I ask you, Oscar, are you stressed? Have you got a problem?
Yeah.
No, you don't have any problem.
Yeah.
You might be stressed with technical
Yeah.
computers
It's
or
also
an issue or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's probably like not even a problem. It's just something to fix in 5 minutes. But the idea is stress, problem, defense mechanism. And resilience has become a word to, I believe, a word to use to get to other subjects, and also in a helpful way to talk about other subjects, such as stress, eventually emotions, our challenges. I like the word
So
resilience.
it means that resilience is the umbrella where they put a lot of negative connotations under, like in corporate management, in terms of stress and depression, in which is more of a negative connotation. So they rather says, okay, we're going to have a resilience training more than a stress training, right?
It sounds better.
It sounds better. That's really interesting. That's really interesting. We're going to go for a quick commercial break, and when we come back, we are going to continue our discussion. I'm really having fun here. What are we discussing? Resilience in pursuing your dreams. And you need that. From my experience today, I have known that we need to what? Not to give up when we fail, but we need to try and try again until we succeed. And we can only do that if we are resilient. We are going for a quick commercial break. Please don't change the dial. We will be back very soon. Welcome back to the Next Level TV program, and this is your regular host Oscar Bimpong, always in the driving seat, taking you to your destination of success. I'm really enjoying this. Resilience in pursuing your dreams is something we don't normally talk about. It's something that is not discussed. I don't ever see it on TV or radio, people discussing resilience. But these are some of the topics that the Next Level TV program brings to you, because resilience is what you need in achieving your dreams. My guest says something that was very powerful. He says we see the success stories of footballers and sportsmen, but we don't see the hard work behind the scenes, the resilience they build in pursuing sports and the things that they do. So it's very powerful that you need to build resilience. And he made one point that really touched my heart. He says we all have got a foundation of resilience in us. We can improve upon it by learning from others, or learning through ourselves, through the challenges that we face, in overcoming it, building a better resilient system in us for us to achieve our goals. This man is really doing well today. Joel Bokas, please welcome back to Zip TV, and you are on the Next Level TV program.
Thank you, Oscar. Yeah, resilience, as I said before, is a subject close to my heart. I have my own experiences from sport and personal life, and we're not going to have time to go into some of those experiences, but resilience is an incredible topic. We could spend many, many hours. I'll bring more experts from different fields to share their experience and their opinions and about resilience. I'm delighted to be here and to talk about resilience.
You know, you said something, but I want to ask you, what are some of your experiences that you have had from resilience in achieving what you have achieved today?
That's a great question. It's a personal question from Oscar.
I think people will relate it to more, because you can't talk about resilience by not talking about what you've experienced as a resilience expert.
Yeah, I had to overcome some adversity in my life, probably a couple of times. Originally, I was born in Portugal. Came to England in 2001. It was not difficult. It was not very easy, I would say, at the beginning. It was very difficult to adapt. For a couple of years, I was doing the jobs that no one wants to do.
Exactly.
And yeah, that's a very good example of resilience. But I had other challenges in my personal life, and I still have some challenges today.
Exactly.
But I'm fascinated with both sport. And as a sportsman myself, I was an amateur sport for a number of years, and I had a career in football refereeing. And resilience in football refereeing, let me tell you, dear viewers, if you are a referee, you need to have resilience.
I know.
If you are a football referee,
I know.
You have to have resilience.
From the players and the coaches, and from the stands, you know.
Oh my God! We could spend the whole afternoon talking about that. But I have some experiences, difficult moments doing that kind of job, and you overcoming a challenge constantly, because you make a decision. 11 players, 11 people, they will be happy with you, plus the management, and the other side, 11, they would be unhappy with you. So every decision, every blow of the whistle, you have a challenge. Yes. Sometimes, most of the time, nothing happens. They accept the decision, we move on. But some other times it's not really like that. It's very challenging. It's starting,
especially when you give a penalty.
Yeah, well, it's yeah. I had some difficult moments. I can remember one game, especially one game. It was very, very difficult to deal. We just had 2 penalties back to back, and I had to send one player off, and that player didn't want to leave the field of play. And his behavior was unacceptable. He had done something to me that he shouldn't have done, and it was very difficult for me to accept what is done, and also carry on with the game, and don't let them affect my human integrity, if you like. Yeah. It was a very challenging moment. If I'm honest with you, Oscar, I had many challenges before, but that particular situation, particularly on a human level, was very difficult to accept and to move on. But we carry on with the game, and eventually that player left the field of play, and we went ahead.
So this is a situation where you manage your emotions better, and you became resilient in continuing the game. And these are some of the things you learn in pursuing your dreams. You know, under recession today, right? A lot of businesses are folding left, right, center, right? Because the economy, though is improving, it doesn't still look good. We are not where we want to be. Now, those companies, does it mean they don't have resilience? structures?
Well, it's a very good point. All the organizations now are looking into building ways to cope better. I would say it's really important to build resilient teams, because they're the people that are doing the work for you and we're facing those challenges. Customers, complaining, on the front line, they deal with your clients, and they're the people that need to be resilient and prepared for the challenges. But also, there's another level of resilience that we can see now, is resilience in the environmental world, which I'm starting to do some resilience research there. Is a huge project going on at the moment called 100 Resilient Cities, started by Rockefeller Foundation in America. And they look another angle of resilience, not the personal side, not the human side, if you like, but they look at the environmental side, structures, infrastructures. What can I do? What can I do better to deal with weather, potential catastrophes? So that's a different. When I say the subject is actually very interesting, because it's so many venues, and they are some of them, they are unexploited. They just start to. That's a particular project that I'm interested in. I'm fascinated by other sides of resilience, but the human level already have some background knowledge. But the companies now, they start to think about employing experts and create positions just to look particular areas of particular resilience, such as the catastrophes and environmental. Or they can, for example, a few years ago we had really bad snow in England.
Yeah.
The flights, they were affected. Well, we couldn't go to work for a few days anyway. So how can we as a country and the government and the local authorities deal with that better? I think we, in a few years after, local councils start to get prepared. They got more salt to get on the roads, so they learn from the experience. So the year after, we less affected, because they have that experience, and also they go and learn with other countries. Let's go to the countries where is more snow. What they doing? How can we learn with them?
You have to go to Russia. Eh?
You got to go to Russia. Yeah. Unfortunately, it's not. Well, let's not get into politics now. Yeah, you got to go to other countries to learn and to develop those. There's capabilities, those resources. What are those things? Yeah, we can always apply that on a human level and also on an organizational, environmental level. Yeah.
Does meeting targets relate to resilience?
Well, I would say the other way around. Resilience leads to meeting targets.
Wow.
Because, especially, for example, in salespeople, how many times do you get the no before you get the yes?
The no is too many.
Yes. So
you need to be resilient, right? And so it means that you go to A, you don't make a sale. B, you don't make a sale. C, you don't have to continue, right?
You have to continue, yeah.
And to have the passion to continue means you need to be
prepared
and resilient.
And take those challenges, as we've seen before, we spoke about before. Take those challenges as not a negative thing. Take those challenges as a platform to give you strength to go again. Okay, this customer, for some reason, don't need my service or my product, but the next one you will need. So try to turn that knockback into a platform to enable, to give you more strength. We only see the successes.
Yeah.
We don't see the injuries, the hard work. Is so much in there. I like that.
Yesterday I was watching the 4x1, 4x100 meters on the Commonwealth Games, and my wife was telling me, Usain Bolt you always have it easy. I said no, he worked hard behind the scenes, and these are some of the things that people don't know. They just see the success story of Usain Bolt. just finishing the 100 meters, finishing the 100 4x1, but they don't see the hard work behind the scenes. The Kenyans, they don't see the hard work on the mountains that every single day to be where they are in this long distance running. So resilience, I think, is something that is very, very important. But I believe it's a bit neglected. The question of resilience, I believe it's a bit neglected. What do you think?
I think, as I mentioned before, it's exploited. We're just starting to get this new wave, if you like, of awareness. How important really it is, and also everyone heard about resilience now. But this is a new trend, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a new thing. The athletes and all of us, we always had resilience, but it was not talked about.
Yes.
For some reason. Now everyone wants more resilience.
Yes.
We need it. We all need it.
Exactly. To be resilient, right? Do you need to be more strategic to be resilient?
I would say you definitely need to be more mindful about those things that affect you, and also be prepared. I mean, preparation, let's go back to the world of sport. Preparation is everything, isn't it?
Exactly.
Preparation would lead to success. Yeah. They very, very methodic the day before the race, or the run, or the jump, or whatever sport it is. The training equipment is ready. They know what they're going to eat in the morning. They know what time they're going to leave the hotel. They know what they're going to do before the race. Everything is in detail. And also, why they do that? To minimize the stress on the day, so they can be relaxed. They know everything is in place. They can perform at their best. 100% focus, 100% on that task. Yeah. I'll give you a different example now. If you talk about human beings, talk about performing tasks. Let's say I'm going on holiday tomorrow to Spain, as an example.
Yes.
I'll leave my bags for the last minute. I pack my cases last minute. So what do? And we do as human beings. I'm sure some of the viewers can identify with that. We just put a bit more strain on ourselves. Oh no, I'm doing the bags. Quickly put everything inside. Tomorrow morning I'll be worrying. Did I forget anything?
Yeah.
Where is the passport? So I think it's a great learning curve from the world of sport, which, as I said before, and you can see, fascinates me, the world of sport. We can all draw experience and learn from them.
Powerful. So it's more about being mindful of what you are doing and preparation in terms of what you want to achieve. Now, resilience, right? How can you make people better in using resilience to achieve their goal?
Okay, that's a great question. We talked about developing personal skills. We talked about we all born with a certain foundation, but I'm a strong believer in focusing on our strengths.
Not our weakness.
Our weaknesses, we will develop in them. We have to. I think it's important to acknowledge them, work on them, still work on them. Don't neglect them, because otherwise you're not going to develop as a person and as a human being. But I strongly believe focusing on our strengths is a platform, as I said before, the confidence, self-belief, is a platform to feel better about ourselves. We're more likely to work better on our weaknesses because we feel good about our strengths.
Yeah.
You tell me, if you ask me to do a long jump, I might not be very good at a long jump, but you just told me I'm a great runner, so I'm feeling good about myself. Even if I'm not very good at a long jump, I'm going to have a good experience. I'm going to try my best. And that's how I believe we can change the focus.
Yes.
And build from it.
Okay. So we have to concentrate on our strength and build our weaknesses alongside. Exactly. Your last word to our viewers.
Well, it's been. I want to thank Oscar for having me. It's been great talking about. I would like to leave you with a quote, and as you already experienced throughout the program, and I'm gonna mention Michael Jordan, probably the greatest basketball player of all times. You all know him.
Exactly.
He said he missed 3,000 shots. He lost 300 games. And the team gave him the responsibility to take 26 decisive shots, and he missed them. And he quotes, because he missed again and again and again, that's why he succeed. And they're not my words, they're Michael Jordan's. And I would like to leave you with that. Thanks.
Powerful. I really love this. What else can I say? He has said it all. Michael Johnson maced, and maced again. And that's what made him to succeed. And let me tell you, if you have failed and failed and failed, I'm here to tell you that will make you to succeed. So don't take failure as a negative connotation. Take it as a learning experience, as a springboard that will take you to the next level of your life. Resilience. I'm always learning every day. And this is one of the topics, one of the topic books. And I've got a good knowledge about it. Now I can say to myself, Oscar, you have failed today, but it doesn't mean tomorrow. You can say that to yourself as well. Let me tell you, it's possible if only you believe. Believe in yourself and you will achieve that. I'm here to inspire you that don't give up. Because if you give up, it's one of the most expensive decisions that you can ever make in life. But if you continue to pursue, you are giving yourself a chance to achieve that dream. I'm blessed, and I'm here to tell you that see you next week. Where we will bring the Next Level TV program to you. Same time, 5 p.m. UK time. Tell a friend to tune in, because don't keep this information to yourself only. See you next week and have a blessed week. Thank you very much and be blessed.